What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Pickoff. I'm your host, as always, Colby Marcio, and this is presented by Betting News and powered by the one and only BetOnline. Happy Tuesday, sickos. We made it. We made it. Colby, why is Tuesday your best day of the week? Well, because it's the best slate of the week, and it seems to be the only day that I ever have a good card on. Well, Colby, what's going on, man? Are you down units? You bet your sweet bippy. It's that time of the year, baby. You can't hit a home run every day for 8 months. It's impossible. It's impossible. You know what these do? They keep you humble. They keep you absolutely humble. Now, I tweeted this out. I can't believe I didn't say this ever on this show after doing it for 2 years. So my guy Kel replied to my tweet about Dan Uggla's forearms and said Lenny Dykstra, but just sent the photo. So I'm assuming he was saying Lenny Dykstra has the best forearms of all time. Lenny Dykstra in 2017 told me to drop out of college and get into the trades. Fun fact, told me on Twitter, drop out of college and get into the trades. Lenny, little do you know, I'm a wuss. I don't ever want to work in the field. I don't ever want to do anything. Oh, Colby, you could be inside. Blah, 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 blah. Shout out to all blue-collar people out there. You are the real superheroes. You are the real Americans. You are amazing. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because God damn, would I not want to work in the field right now? Especially this summer when it's 92 degrees. I asked Austin, who's in chat, who works in attics and whatnot, and I asked him how much weight does he lose during the summertime, and he said around 20 pounds. Now, I would love to lose 20 pounds right now. That'd be fantastic. I'd be a snatched little SOB. Now, we have a ginormous show today. A lot of baseball to talk about, a lot of plays to get to, but we have a special guest, Mr. Russell Dorsey, insider for Yahoo Sports and MLB Network. You can also catch his rear end over on Apple TV every Friday. Let's get the intro going. Let's bring him in, and let's get this Tuesday rocking and rolling. Here's Russ Dorsey. There he is. Long time never see. Long time never see.
What's up,
Russ
buddy?
Dorsey.
How you doing?
Haven't seen you in years, man. How you been?
I've been great since I saw you 24 hours ago, Colby. It's good to be on with you, man.
You remembered.
I did.
Ladies and germs, the insider for Yahoo Sports and MLB Network, Russell Dorsey. And remember, get your phones out, hit Siri, tell her, hey, Friday nights I could see Russ on Apple TV. Guess what? Never seen you on Apple TV because I don't have Apple TV. So sorry, Russ. I love you. Just like your tweet. I'm not paying for another subscription.
You one of those folks? Hey, man, I learned my lesson. I'm staying out of the streaming wars and all that. All I'm going to say is one of two things. I'm sorry or thoughts and prayers.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you do go and follow Russ Dorsey at Russ_Dorsey1, just know if it's outside of baseball tweets, he's probably trying to trigger you.
Am I? Or are they trying to trigger me?
No, I would argue, I know when you have time in your hands.
Sometimes.
Two.
I did that day.
That Saturday tweet was without a doubt a trigger post.
It was, honestly, bro, it wasn't a trigger post.
You just have strong takes.
And you know how I care about, like, fans. Like, as a former beat reporter, fans are the reason I've gotten to this point in my career where you can go, move on, be a national guy, be on TV, all that. So I love fans. And I think, I love interacting with people because that's a good way to interact with fans, have fun. It's entertaining. But I can talk about a lot of different things inside and outside of baseball. So to me, it wasn't what it ended up being where, they writing about it on Awful Announcing. That's crazy, by the way.
They put you on there?
They did. Somebody sent it to me and said, yo, you've made it because you're on. Yeah, man.
Oh, I gotta read
it wasn't hilarious. What it probably came off as. Like, it was honestly, I just wanted to talk to people about it. And, nuanced conversations aren't great on Twitter. So, and I knew that, but that's on me.
That's fine. You mentioned you're not just a baseball guy. We'll get into that later because we got to end the show with goofy goober stuff. You're on a show with me. You know what you're going to expect. Nothing serious. How do I have a job? The world may never know, right? Let's get into my favorite thing of this time of the year. Let's get into the home run derby because I have a lot of questions for you. You're going to be down in Atlanta for this?
I this year, because of circumstances beyond my control, I'm not going to be in Atlanta this year.
Well, we can still talk.
That's fine. I can talk about all things All-Star game, all things home run derby.
Yes. Now, I don't like talking about snubs. That's the last thing I care to talk about. I think it's actually really lazy because nothing's going to change. Every year, someone's going to get snubbed. Every year, there's always going to be something to complain about. So we're not going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. It's gone. It's done with. We know who the lineups are. But something that isn't finished is the home run derby. Is this turning into the dunk contest where no one really wants to do it anymore? Because right now, the list looks like we should be sending this straight to DVD.
Of all the all-star festivities across sports, I do think it's still the one that has some juice, right? 100%, like I 100%. Would say it now, unfortunately, it probably goes home run derby, 3-point contest, and then like the NHL shooting competition where they like break the panes of glass in the little corners. I'd say that's probably the top 3. But I think the one thing about the home run derby is you still get star power, right?
No
that's
doubt.
Something
no
that
doubt.
we miss from the dunk contest in the NBA is that your superstar players that did it in years past, your Jordans, your Kobes, your Dr. J's, like guys don't want to do it anymore. And we're stuck with, shout out to my man, Mac McClung, who can't find a roster spot in the league, right? In baseball, 100%. You're still getting Cal Raleigh, right? Ronald Acuna Jr., Byron Buxton, who's having a monster year all-star this year. Like you're getting actual all-stars and MVP caliber players in the home run derby. And I think that benefits the game.
I think it's sad that the Mac McClung of the home run derby, Pete Alonso, isn't in it this season.
I think
I'm not saying Pete sucks.
I'm totally fine.
We know I love him.
No, I know.
Pete is the home run derby.
With Pete saying, you know what, man, I'm good. And I respect his answer because he's just like, I never get to enjoy the full 3 days.
Yes.
Of all-star festivities. I have to always like prepare for the home run derby, and guys are gassed, and like there's a whole thing, because you're talking to the media. There's a media day, and then you have all your other things you're doing, and then you have the home run derby, and then for Pete, because he wins it so often, then you have a press conference, then you have the parties and stuff after
his workouts
on Tuesday, and then so it's like I can understand for a guy. You do that 3 times, it's like, I'm cool on this.
Yeah. Now, my biggest pet peeve, I'm a diehard home run derby guy. The most nostalgia out of anything in all of sports for me. That's how much I love the home run derby. Like Josh Hamilton was just peak childhood for me. Yeah. Do you miss the 10 outs?
I'm an efficiency guy. It's why I think the pitch clock is one of the best things that ever happened in Major League Baseball. And players will also tell you that, folks out there. Like, it's not just something that writers complain about. Like, players didn't want to be there all night anymore for 4 hours. I sometimes, because I think we don't get those Josh Hamilton performances anymore. You don't get your Sammy from Milwaukee.
Because they're rushing. Essentially, they're rushing.
Guys are rushing. But also, the home run derby doesn't need to be 3.5 hours.
Now, that is something I understand, but here's my take. The home run is the most beautiful thing that happens in sports.
Sure.
It's better than the dunk. We've seen every dunk. We've seen it all. That is the one thing that needs to be admired every single time it leaves the yard. I went to the one in Seattle. I didn't know where the balls were because there was 5 in the sky.
Right.
So that's bad for the fans
at
the
think
stadium
that's a fair argument.
and the camera guy. And the kids in the outfield that always get hurt. People forget. Forget.
I have concerns about the kids running around the outfield. Like, I know that's probably a cool experience for them, but some kid is getting drilled because kids can't pay attention. Especially we have that many baseballs flying at a time. Like, you're going over here, and then one drills you, like, bad. But I understand your point, and I think that's a good point, that you get to admire the ball that goes 525 feet you can't do that if there are 3 homers and where did this one land? Does this count? Does this count? Is that one of the money balls like that counts for 2? Yeah. So I get you.
Is there anyone from our childhood, we're about the same age, that you wished did the home run derby but didn't? I have no answer. I couldn't think of one, but I thought of that question while we were talking about this.
Every major
I feel like everyone's done it.
From our generation when we became baseball fans all did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Just not A-Rod. Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, he did it in Seattle.
A-Rod did it. Junior did it. Jim Thome did it. Frank Thomas did it. All the big boys did it. So no, there's nobody I can think of. Sammy did it multiple times. McGuire did it multiple times. Palmeiro did it. Guys like Bobby Abreu did it.
100%.
Alfonso Soriano did it. Guys who you didn't think could do it.
Yeah.
Would be finalists, and guys that you thought would be great at it didn't do well. I remember when the year Brandon Inge decided to do the home run derby. And I'm like, come on, Brandon Inge, man. I know you're an all-star and you want to enjoy come on. This wasn't for you, big dog.
People forget Jason Bay had 0 in Pittsburgh.
Jason Bay had 0. I remember
that's the worst thing to ever do it.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason Bay. He had a monster year that year for the Pirates. They used to have some dudes, and it's so sad that fans who are 10, 11, 12 don't have recollection or memory.
They just have McCutch.
But they weren't old enough to really have Kutch in his prime when he had the long dreads.
Oh, I hated that they had to cut him when he came to New York.
Heck of a player.
Oh, he's very underappreciated. And the fact that he's still playing is beautiful. I love him to death. But we got to talk. We talked about the home run derby. Cal's the biggest star of that home run derby. My hottest take of the season is Cal is not going to win MVP. And I think we should stop talking about it right now.
Is that a hot take?
Ooh, please, Russ. Please feed into my ego. Tell me.
I don't think that's a hot take. I
think his second half is going to be atrocious.
Okay, so that might be a hot take. I don't, but I also think that you can admire what he's been able. He's having an all-time season, right now, and I think we need to admire that and give him his flowers because to be that offensive force as a platinum glove winning catcher is something we might not see for a long time. To do that is insane.
100%.
But if everything remains the same to the end of the year, Aaron Judge will be the MVP. He's going to hit between 350 and 380 with between 55 and 70 home runs. I just don't know how you don't give that guy the MVP award, even if Cal finishes with a 272 average and 59 bombs,
which is a monster season for him. 270 average.
And you deserve all 32nd place votes, my man. But
100%. No. I've been saying he's a glorified Schwarber, but that plays catcher.
Come on. I think he deserves a lot more.
I'm not trying to disrespect him. I just think the second half is going to be really tough for him, especially being in the Derby, and especially when they're already starting to walk him a ton in a lineup that doesn't elevate the ball like he does.
I will say the fact that the Mariners, there's a world where they don't make it to the playoffs.
Oh, that'd be great.
And it's really tough to win, to win MVP as a team that doesn't win the playoffs or doesn't get into the playoffs. You got to have a Cal type year, but there can't be an Aaron Judge.
And then people will argue, well, what about Mike Trout? Well, Mike Trout was batting what Judge has with those home runs and whatnot.
Right. And Mike was the best player in baseball, bar none. There was no conversation on, well, this guy. No, it was Mike Trout and then everybody else.
So I think Scooble's closer to Judge than Cal is, just based off of who's the other MVP on that Detroit team.
No, I think you make a case. And I think,
if they're number one overall in baseball, I got him at 120-1, and I'm drooling.
He's doing some ungodly things every fifth day, and I think that's an interesting case that you make. Because I think in a top 5 ballot, you can 100% make a case for Tarek Skubal being in there. And in a weaker American League, I think there is room this year for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the odds I just find are, I know you're not a betting guy, but the odds are wild. Like Cal's 3-1 and Scooble's 120-1. That's egregious. It's closer than those odds are they're telling you right now. But we got to talk about something else, Russ. We got to talk about my Yankees. You know I love them. Thank you for the pin. I put it on my backpack. I really appreciate it.
No problem, bro.
Is it the dog days of summer, or is it just time for Aaron Boone to go? Because every single year around this time, I have to defend them and say, would you rather have your team be ice cold in July, or would you rather have them ice cold going into the playoffs? I would rather have them scorching hot going into the playoffs, but I'm done with Boone. I tell everybody, I wish, knowing if they were going to lose the World Series, I wish they lost to the Royals, because then it meant Boone was gone. Them going to the World Series is probably the worst thing that happened to them this offseason. They did get moved. They did make some big moves, getting some guys for some bags of chips, but they really rely too heavily on Aaron Judge and overall the big hit. That is their whole offense. When's the big hit coming? Because they don't play small ball.
Yeah, I think this is the question that the Yankees had going into the offseason is, look, you got beat by the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series, and for a team that was they made it there. They made it to the mountaintop. They just didn't get to that next step. Like, can you do too much, right? You don't bring back Soto. You decide
which is fine. I'm not even mad about it.
Right. You decide that Aaron's going to come back as your manager, but it feels like a lot of the things that were their weaknesses last year are still their weaknesses this year, as you mentioned, and they still don't have a third baseman.
And now second,
right? And so then Jazz, who should be playing second base, was playing third base, and now they have him back in the lineup at second base. So you're still looking for a third baseman at the deadline. And you're right. Like, you had a hot start from Paul Goldschmidt, and now that's gone. And I think Cody Bellinger's having a solid year for them. I think Dominguez has figured things out. I think what you've gotten from Trenton Grisham, you should say, God bless.
That is Soto.
Right? Like, they've been able to create 70% of Soto in the aggregate, right? But they still have flaws. And for as well as Max Fried is pitching, you still need more arms in that rotation, especially with the Clark Schmidt injury. You don't know what you're going to have when Luis Gil comes back. So, yeah, man, like if you're a Yankees fan, I can understand feeling uneasy, because the Toronto Blue Jays can't lose, and it feels like the Yankees can't win right now.
100%, and that's a great point. I think now that you're talking about it, Boone still should have been fired after the World Series, because they were in every single game. I don't know how he has a job. I understand the players love him, but he makes too many mistakes, and his time has come. I don't think you're going to get anything new out of him, but this leads me to a good transition, because out of these three teams, you already mentioned the Blue Jays, who are scorching hot. They're a lot of fun to watch. As a Yankees fan, I hate it, but as a baseball fan, it's awesome. The Rays, the Astros, the Blue Jays, which one of those teams can we actually trust?
The Rays, the Astros, the Blue Jays. You can definitely trust the Astros, because everybody said, finally, thank God,
they won't die.
It's been a decade, and they've been running through the AL West like diarrhea, and finally the time has come for them to be dethroned. And no, it's not. And they just keep doing it year after year. They let 1 star walk, they let 2 stars walk, they let 3 stars walk, they trade their superstar, and it doesn't matter, Colby. Like, I was all aboard the Sacramento A's train. I loved the cut of their jib. They were young, they were fun, they were hungry, they could bang. Couldn't pitch, worth a damn. And guys can't pitch in Sacramento, right, where they're the worst team outside of the Rockies at home and the best team on the road. I just don't know how you can win like that. And so I didn't think that the pitching would be as bad as it's been in their own ballpark. But the Houston Astros, once again, have proven, like, until you beat us, it's us all the way. The Seattle Mariners, year in and year out, are just like, hey, man, we're going to do our best. And then they got out to the hot start that they needed to get out to. And then you always knew the Astros were going to chase them down, because of what they did last year when they had that huge lead. And the Astros like, yo, it's fine. And they're doing it with no Yordan Alvarez, who, when healthy, is one of the best hitters in Major League Baseball. They've had Jose Altuve at multiple positions. They had a rookie Cam Smith who had never played above Double-A, starting for them in right field on opening day, and he's
Looks
now
phenomenal.
started to turn it up and look like a guy that is supposed to be in the big leagues. Like they keep doing it, man.
Now the Rays, a team that has barely played any road games, their whole second half of the season is going to be road games. I took the under on their win total at 86.5. Tell me I'm smart because of all those road games.
That's gonna be tough, right? Like
It's a lot of road games.
I'm not getting involved in the betting aspect of it, but
Yeah.
like logically, if you play the majority of your games in a pennant chase on the road, that is difficult, right? You're gonna have to play in Boston, you're gonna have to play in New York, you're gonna have to play in Toronto, and you're gonna have to play the rest of the American League and some of the National League teams in there as well. It won't be easy. And the one thing they have going for them is that they can really swing it. It's always been pitching with the Tampa Bay Rays, and they're not, they're about middle of the pack to lower part of Major League Baseball when it comes to starting pitching. But if they expect to stay in this thing and win one of those wild card spots, they're going to have to score 6 runs a game like they've been doing, because it's going to be difficult.
I just think if they do that, they'll be gassed by the postseason. They'll be gassed. That's just
I think if they get there, you worry about that when you get there. You worry about it when you get there.
That's a great mindset.
I think you could say, like, we came into the season saying, hey, man, we're playing. We don't have our ballpark. We got to do the best we can. And then, boom, you're in the postseason. You're like, well, we're playing with house money at this point.
100%. Now, I got a couple more questions for you, and I'll let you get on your day. But question, this is just silly for me to ask, but say you're out to dinner. It could be Seattle. We'll use that as an example. And you're going to meet a friend out. And that friend is like a really good friend, but he tells the hostess, that's my coworker. What are you going to do?
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's taking me back there, Colby. That's
tell
crazy.
The people, Russ. Tell them. Do my voice. Tell the people. Tell the people.
Colby and I were in Seattle for the All-Star game a couple of years ago, like he talked about earlier. And we go to dinner, this really cool spot right on the water. And Colby is waiting for me at the restaurant, right?
No. You were there. I come late.
Did you? Okay. So I was there first, and then he comes in after. And I had already told the hostess, yeah, I'm meeting my friend. She was like, do you want to wait? Do you want to sit at the table? And I was just like, I'll go sit at the table. That's cool. And then Colby comes in. And I think you tell the hostess, yeah, my coworker came here. And I think he came about 5 minutes ago. And I think that's wild because I introduced him to the hostess as my friend. And he introduced himself to the hostess as coworker. And I think that's wild. And that in some spaces, that would have been the end of the friendship. Would have been over that day.
It's wild. Russ went on to pay for our calamari and our espresso martinis. It was very kind of him. As I said,
I shouldn't have, but I did.
I was like, yeah, I tell the hostess we work back in Chicago. That hostess is like, this is the weirdest first date I've ever seen.
All right, I didn't need to know any of this shit. Enjoy your food.
Now, you've always been an espresso martini guy. The summer is full swing. Does Russ Dorsey have this drink of the summer set in stone?
Russ has been cutting back on the old alcohol as he's been in his
thin guy
shredded up summer. But I do in the summertime enjoy Sauvignon Blanc. I'm usually a Cabernet guy, but there's something about a nice cool glass of Sauvignon Blanc with your meal in the summertime that is very good. Now, you and I enjoy a nice barbecue this weekend. I am not ashamed to bust down 2, 3, 4, 5 White Claws or High Noons. Like, I'm known to do both. So, yeah, give me a nice cold beverage with the charred dogs, or if I'm having a more classy meal, I will also have the Sauvignon Blanc.
Now tell the people how to make a correct hot dog since I got you here with the barbecue talk.
Okay. So 1, all beef dogs have to, right? 100% all beef dogs. And then I don't mind a boiled dog, but summertime and you have the
It's
grill
not
where
negative 20 outside. We got to make them
you have
outside.
whether it's the Blackstone or the dome or the pull down, like whichever one you have, char those boys up. Now, Colby, like in life, likes a darker skinned dog, right? He's been known to like a little char, a little crisper on the dog, and I feel him on that. So right in between, like not burnt where I taste more char than dog, but like right when you have to think about if you burnt these boys, that's when you pull them off.
Yeah, Russ is 100% correct. I like my coffee how I like my hot dogs. Black.
There you go.
Black. Russ, thank you so much for doing this. You are the absolute best. If you're not following Russ on Twitter/X, I will never call it X. Give him a follow at Russ_Dorsey1. Russ, let the people know what you got going on. And again, thank you. You're the man.
Of course. Yeah, no, I'm everywhere that you find your baseball content. Yahoo, MLB Network, Apple TV Plus, Friday Night Baseball every Friday, except this Friday because I'm going to a wedding, so I won't be on this week. But after the All-Star break, I shall return.
You're the best, Russ. Thank you as always.
All right, buddy.
Have a good one. What a guy. What an absolute blast we just had. There he is, leaving us. Oh, we gotta wait. All right, he's gone. I can talk crap on him. Hey, guys, wasn't Russ a blast? Anywho, we got to talk about something that went down the other day in Wrigley. I gotta hold on. Let me take a picture of this, send it to Russ. I'll send that to him later. That's hysterical. No, that was absolutely hilarious when that happened. I didn't think anything of it when I sent it. And I didn't say coworker. I said, yeah, I work with him back in Chicago. I didn't think anything of it 2 years ago, but whatever. I was a younger man. But something happened at Wrigley this past weekend. On Sunday, actually. Father, if you're not familiar, Father, Miss Alex Cooper, did the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley Field, and a lot of people were annoyed. My initial reactions were, before seeing the video, my reaction was, who cares? I saw TikToks of Cubs fans saying it was the most disrespectful thing they've ever seen, and it ruined the sacredity of the 7th inning stretch at Wrigley. Then I stumbled upon somebody doing a top 5 worst 7th inning stretch videos ever. Mike Dick's was terrible, according to them. T-Pain. Mr. T's was bad. Mr. T's was bad. And that Cubs fan was like, these people aren't even Cubs fans. Who cares? Who cares, first of all? Who cares? Every single one of those people that does a 7th inning stretch, it's not going to be a home run. Then I saw the actual video of Alex Cooper singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, 7th inning stretch. And I understood what she was doing. She was making content. She's a content creator. She is a content, she's a mogul, if you want to say. She's huge. She's one of the biggest podcasts. She's one of the biggest. Unwell's a network right now, radio station. She's ginormous. It felt very content-y, the way she was talking and making it sort of lighthearted. I don't have a problem with it. I don't at all. I do think she could have still made it content-esque without having being a little bit overboard. And you're probably sitting there going, well, Colby, why don't you Take Me Out to the Ball Game? All right. Fine. I'll do it. 2 retweets and I'll do it. 2 retweets. Hold on. Let me get my singing voice ready. Also, if you're not following Russ Dorsey on Twitter, at Russ_Dorsey1, what are you doing? Go follow him. All right, are we ready? Chat, count me down. I'll sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Are we ready? Alive? Are we live and alive? Anybody? Hello? Hello? Do we want to? All right, fine. I'll do it. Perfect. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, for it's root for the Yankees. If they don't win, it's a shame. The old game. And Wrigley Field goes crazy because they also booed me for saying "Go Yankees." That was really the only other thing I didn't want to ask Russ. I was like, I kind of want to sing, and I don't want to sing in front of Russ. But if anyone out there has any home run derby picks out already in their mind, like, hey, I'm so taking O'Neal Cruz, let me know. Let me know what you guys are eyeing. I know there's still, excuse me, hold on. Got a little dry throat. I think there's still 3 spots open for the Derby. I will be talking about it with Adam Rosenberg on Friday with Michael Montgomery. It's going to be a blast. They were making it like a competition thing, so it's going to be real cool. I love the home run derby. I'm so excited for it. I'm going to have to go to a bar. I don't have cable. I only have MLB, the app, which is all the games except for Cubs games and White Sox games. But, you know, those are the only 2 games I can't watch. Whoop-de freaking do. But, I love the home run derby. I have no idea who I'm going to take. Definitely not Cal. Sorry, guys. I will be taking the under on Cal's home runs probably because too much. He's going to be the chalk. And number 1 rule for me, at least, don't take the chalk in a home run derby. Shohei was like plus 200 a couple years ago, and he had like no home runs. Don't ever take the chalk. That's my rule. It's a fun event. Don't go crazy. Don't go insane. Guys get gassed. So think of anyone who has a lot of endurance. Take them, lean into them. And kind of go with the long shots. I really think the long shots are more worth it than the chalk. I don't remember what Teoscar was last year or what Vladdy was in 2023, but I don't believe they were the chalk. Also, take like 2-3 guys. Take 2-3 guys. It's more fun that way. And if they end up going off against each other, whatever, who cares? Who cares? All right. Let's talk about some plays. Let's get into some plays. Then we can get into any questions you guys have. Also, if you have any questions about any games tonight, please ask. I'll hope I have takes. But let's get into the first play that I have in my notes, which is also the first game of the day. Let's take Mr. Ramon Lorano. Mr. Lorano, who has the highest matchup rating in the current season ratings in this game. In the current season ratings on Batters-Box. He's had 11 elite ratings this season. 81% of the time records a hit. 54% of the time records 2 hits. 72% of the time goes over his bases prop down below. And 27% of the time hits a home run. Small sample size. I know 11 is not the greatest, but this is also just this season that I'm talking about. So it's kind of a bigger sample size than if it was the last 3 seasons. If it was the last 3 seasons and it was 11 elites, I wouldn't have mentioned it. So I think it holds a little bit more since it's this season. Taking on Clay Holmes, this is also current season stuff. Poor average hitter matchup, ISO and hard contact, giving up nearly 40% hard contact. His arsenal's pretty average. His fastball's his best pitch, and he only throws it 7% of the time. But 71% of his pitches is a sinker, which he throws 38% of the time. 38% of the time, sinker. 38. Didn't want to say 80, sorry. Slider, 33% of the time. Those are his worst pitches. 71% of his arsenal are bad pitches. Mr. Ramon is batting .410 against sinkers with a 1030 OPS, a sub 200 WRC plus. Against sliders, 237 average, 872 OPS, 1151 WRC plus, while having a 60% hard hit rate. Righties, going up against righties at home, 340 batting average, 1044 OPS, 192 WRC plus. I love Mr. Lorano tonight. Insane price on the bases. If you want to take him to get a hit and pair him with anyone else I give out, I think that'd be very smart. There's a prop I'm going to end the show with, or end my plays with, that is minus 140 juice. You could probably pair him and that together, and you get plus money. So 160 bases, insane price. 700 on the home run. I was like, give me that. He bats in the middle of the lineup, so the prices do make sense, but the matchup is very delectable, and I really love that play. Thoughts on Seager bases tonight? Who's it? I do have a play in that game. I did not look at any Texas Ranger. Nobody even grabbed me when I was like going through that game, but I have a play in that game, and I'll get into that in a second since it's my last game of the day. We need to talk about Cal Raleigh, though. We're going back to him today. 1, home runs boosted, so do what you want with that. Cal Raleigh bases at minus 105 is a fantastic price. It's like getting Aaron Judge, Shohei at minus 105. I think we can start saying this because of the season he's having. All the MVP talk is zero disrespect to the guy. He is awesome. He is awesome to watch. I am simply trying to back my claims on my MVP futures. So let's get into this one. Back-to-back games hitless. Saturday, 3 walks, only got 1 real at bat if you want to go off the stats. 2 homers on Friday in Pittsburgh. But the guy loves playing on the road. And he gets to play in the Bronx, which is the most hitter-friendly ballpark according to average fans. When I know it's a short porch and right. So on the road, he has a 291 batting average, 667 slugging percentage, and a 1080 OPS. Taking on rookie Will Warren, who's letting lefties bat 282 with a 460 slugging percentage, 832 OPS. 3 of his 5 pitches are below league average. His fastball and sinker are his best pitches, which make up 59% of his arsenal. Cal against those pitches is the best pitcher or best hitter on the Mariners lineup against those pitches, is a run value of 8+ or better. OPS of 975 or better. WRC plus of 182 or better, and murders those other pitches that are below league average. In 28 elite ratings on the road, 78% of the time records a hit. 57% of the time goes over his basis prop. We're getting good value on that price. 40% of the time homers. 28 game sample size on the road. 40% of the time homers. Now, I'm going to try and get this through your head so I don't forget. I'm going to repeat this a million times so I don't forget to tell myself this, which I'm doing right now. I'm telling myself, hey, Colby, make sure you remember to do this. Cal Raleigh walk right now is minus 130. I am not paying anything for a walk. I am not paying minus 130 for Cal Raleigh to get a walk. Do I think he walks today? 100%. I believe Will Warren has a 4 point whatever walks per 9. He struggles with finding his spots. If Cal homers in the first 2 at-bats, or early on, first 3 at-bats, homers, I'm taking the walk live. If he doesn't, I'm letting these props live. And that will be the only things I'm on Cal Raleigh. If he hits a home run, I'm taking his walk. I'm not going to post it out, but take the walk with me. Walk with me. We're taking Cal Raleigh's walk. That is something I'm actually going to keep my eyes on for the remainder of the season, or try to. Is Cal Raleigh's walk prop. Because last week, I don't think he walked in this game that I was going to take it in, but it was plus 150. He's getting walked a ton. Like I said, Saturday he had 3 walks. They're going to walk him because the rest of that lineup sucks. They suck. Well, Colby, Randy Arozarena is on fire. Don't care. He's the only player in that lineup that can elevate the ball. So, love Cal Raleigh tonight. Love Cal Raleigh. Now, one play that makes me a little sick because he's on fire, but I'm ice cold. So maybe I'll cool him off. Maybe he'll be the person that gets me going. Michael Busch. Michael Busch, bases, home run. Fantastic price. 23 bases over his last 3 games. 23 bases. I know. I never do this. I never do this stuff, but everything is beautiful about this matchup. Taking on Mr. Woods Richardson, who is the second worst pitcher rating in the current season ratings on Batter Siphon Box, has a poor average hitter matchup, WOBA, ISO, K percentage, ground ball percentage. Lefties are murdering him. They're batting 300, 477 slugging percentage, 848 OPS. Bush on the road against right-handed pitchers has a 328 average, 672 slugging percentage, 1065 OPS, and a sub-200 WRC+. Woods is a 75% fastball slider. Bush against both those pitchers, one of the best hitters on the Cubs lineup, has an OPS above 741, WRC+ above 127. The number one hitter, according to Batter Siphon, not according to Batter Siphon Box, according to Baseball Savant, against the slider. Bush is the best against the slider, according to Baseball Savant. Versus the remainder of his pitches, which is the change in the curve, has above a 318 batting average, OPS above 1102, WRC+ north of 212. I think the curve he has a 3-something, or it's the change. One of those, it's a 3-something. It's insane. But in 17 elite ratings this season, pretty good sample size, way better than the one I mentioned earlier. Records a hit 90% of the time. 17 elite ratings this season, 90% of the time records a hit. 41% of the time records 2 hits. 64% of the time goes over his bases prop, which we are on tonight, and hits a home run 35% of the time. I couldn't pass up on this. I could not pass up on Michael Bush. I didn't look at PCA. Michael Bush grabbed me the most. But Tyler, pair these two then to get a hit. Wouldn't be a bad one. Now, back to the play that I was talking about earlier about pairing it with Mr. Larano is Nathan Eovaldi strikeouts. Minus 140. I paid the juice. There are a lot of minus 150 pluses out there. At that point, just take the alt. Take the 6.5 at plus money. I don't hate it. I just like the 5.5 for minus 140. That's like the ceiling for me. I didn't want to pay minus 150 for this, but 140 I was willing to pay. So I like it a lot. He is the 6th highest rating in the default ratings on Batter Siphon Box. He's the number 1 pitcher in the current season ratings, 3rd highest matchup K percentage in the current season ratings, averages around 6 strikeouts on the road per game. His pitch mix is one of the best on the Rangers staff. In 12 great K percentage ratings in the default ratings, there was no data on this season, so I was like, I'll mention the great average hitter matchup K percentage ratings. So 58% of the time he goes over this prop, and then 50% of the time goes over 6.5. So it's a pretty decent sample size and pretty decent numbers. So was willing to mention that. Now let's talk about the Angels. If Austin's in here, he knows this. He can vouch for me on this. Let's talk about the Angels and striking out, because they're dead last at home in K percentage, the 2nd worst team in K percentage versus right-handed pitchers, 3rd worst K percentage over the last 14 days, 4th worst over the last 7 days, and overall this season, dead last. Dead last. And Eovaldi has been fantastic this season. I know he's only had a couple starts since coming back from injury, but I think he's serviceable enough to take down an Angels team that has been swing happy this entire season. Now, Colby, did you ladder it? This is just for you guys. Yes, I did. This is just for the people watching. Will not post this out. I laddered this, and those prices are too hot to pass up. I told you guys to alt to the 7. Look at the price. That is well worth the extra strikeout sweat. I think he does get 7. I think he gets, I don't even know how many he gets. I can see him getting the 10, actually. That's why I bet it. Also, the value is insane. 11 to 1 for 10 against the worst. I know sometimes he's not really a strikeout pitcher. He's touched 9 this season. He's touched 6 a bunch of times this season. I really like the prices. I can live with losing these sprinkles. Do not go crazy with the ones below unless you're going to put your standard unit on the 7 because you don't feel like paying minus 140, minus 155, minus 160 for 5.5 strikeouts. But like I said, in just 12 great K percentage ratings. 58% of the time, 6 Ks. That's all we need. 50% of the time goes over 7. And that's just great. He has the third best average hitter matchup K percentage rating in the current season. He is elite. So I really like Nathan Eovaldi. I will doodle about this after the show because the game's at basically 9 o'clock tonight, Central Time. And those are my plays. It's not as a big of a card as I thought I was going to have because Tuesdays I usually have 12 plays. But it's going to be great. I know the season hasn't been too hot since June started, but the season, we still have all the rest of July, August, September, the playoffs. 4 months. 4 months. Tyler, is that all one play? I'm not Tyler, this is probably the last show that gives out parlays. I don't give out parlays. I do suggest people taking 2-3 leg hit parlays, but outside of that, I don't parlay at all. I don't need to. I don't like parlaying because there's so much value on everything that I'm giving out. I don't want to lose them. Like plus 160 bases. I don't want to parlay that with anything. Plus 700 home run. Why would I parlay that with anything and get screwed on going 1 for 1? I've never had a home run parlay, by the way, because I don't know. I also just look to hit 1 home run. I look to hit all the bases prop. I know the home run's nearly impossible to go 3 for 3 on, but 700 is too high of a number for me to pass up on. Cal Raleigh, I boosted it. That's a fantastic price. 185, I was like, oh, I have to use the boost on this one. Minus 105 bases, fantastic price for Cal Raleigh. And then 390, I was kind of shocked it was 390. There is a 400, but I didn't feel like depositing in that book. So 400 for Michael Busch, I can live with that. And then Eovaldi, I just paid the juice because 5.5 is a great number. You know, what else is going on? Trout for a walk. I don't have any thoughts on that one. What do you think about Schwarber Tucker tonight? Schwarber didn't come across my feed today when I was going through the slate. So I don't have any takes on Schwarber Tucker. I think Michael Busch is the number 1 Cub to take, but I don't hate Tucker because he's very similar in most of those pitches thrown by Mr. Woods Richardson. That's a really long name, Woods Richardson. But if anyone else has any questions, shoot them my way. We got what do we got? 12 minutes before the W starts. I can ramble, boys and girls. I can ramble. I can look up stuff on my phone because if I add an advanced analytics website to my tabs, my laptop will freeze. So we can't do that. I know one parlay that gave you. Which one was that? Dizzle, which parlay? I just straight bet. Tyler, I just straight bet. When it comes to baseball, especially, there's so much value on a day-to-day basis with just one guy to get bases. I don't want to. There's no reason to chase. To me, parlays is chasing. So I don't like doing that. I don't like living and dying by parlays. I get the allure. I get the fun out of it. I'd rather win straight and build the bankroll up. And then when I'm feeling giddy, I will make a parlay, but I don't post them out because they never win. Do I, from time to time, put together a $3 home run parlay bet that wins $2,000? Yeah, and then I go and forget about it because I know it's not going to hit. The futures. Oh, Dizzle, put that in the chat. Put that in the chat, the price. But Jay Dizzle DM'd me the other day and he bet Skubal to win MVP in the AL and then Zach Wheeler to win NL Cy Young Award winner. And I forgot the price he got. But that's like the dream parlay for my futures this year. But also mentioning, let me put it in here. I don't know what the price is now, so 1 second, guys. 1 second. All right, I talked about it with Russ, and I haven't given it out. There it is. This is what I got 2 weeks ago. So Rays under 86.5 wins, minus 115. So I took this 2 weeks ago. Shout out to not mid-major Matt who put me on the map with this one. I will not take full credit for this play because I wasn't even going to look at it. But I love it. I love it a lot. I don't know what the number is now. Jay Dizzle, I know you're really quick with your feet. Could you look up what the Rays' current win total is? But 86.5, I know they've been on a hot streak. I know they've been the hottest team in baseball. But they do have to play the second half of the season mostly on the road. I think it's like 50-something% of their games or more. It's more. I think it's 55, 60% of their games, something crazy, that the remainder of the season is going to be played on the road, and they're not that good. Sure, they're benefiting from playing at Steinbrenner Field. No, not their current wins. The prop. The prop. They currently have 49 wins going into the All-Star break. I'm talking about the prop. Silly goose. Sorry if I wasn't clear enough. I mean, I could do it too. Hold on. I just didn't want to be looking down on my phone while I'm on the show. No, we know, Jay Dizzle. We know it's not your first language, which also means you're smarter than all of us. So you should have known. Hold on. I'm looking. Team totals. No, that's going to be for today. There we go. Team wins. This is not. Oh, the one trustworthy book I go to look at. Wow. Let's put this up. Oh, no, you can't put that up because we're sponsored by BetOnline. What am I doing? Excuse me. Sorry. It's currently at 81.5. I probably shouldn't have wrote this out then. So I do apologize. That is a 5-game drop. Wow. I just don't trust the pitching, especially on the road. The hitting, I think, is a byproduct of where they're playing in the heat and in a minor league ballpark. So I really like mid-major Matt's cap on that one. I think he has it pinned on his Twitter account, so go give it a look. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I wish Kadar was. Someone go get Kadar. I want to talk about how awesome it is watching Zach Wheeler just mush. Every time he's out there, absolutely mushing. He is a workhorse out on the bump, and he's only getting better. I hated that I was traveling, that I didn't look at it, because I would have been on Scooby-Dooby-Doo and Zachy Wheelie Wheelies, K's, and then ladder them suckers up. But we're laddering Evaldi's. We're laddering Evaldi today. Can we get the first pickoff ladder sweep? That would be unbelievable. Honestly, if Tyler's still here, is he still here? Tyler, if you're still here, technically, this is my parlay. That's where my head's at. I put half unit on the 7 and then quarter unit on the rest. This is essentially my parlay, because straight, it's a hell of a sweat, because you're rooting for this to cash because it's the most important one. You have full unit 0.4 on it. But once you get to this spot, unbelievable sweat, especially if they're playing very, very well. That is just fun. Now we got a question from Mr. Austin. If you had to choose a game, what game do you think would have the most hits for today's slate? Ooh, it's a good question. Medium frying pan. You're my new favorite person that watches this show. But yeah, no problem, Tyler. And good luck on that lay. Not wishing you ill will. Good luck on that lay. Most hits? Ugh. That's a tough one. I kind of want to say the Cubs. Let me know what Richardson Wood's hits are, because I do think the Cubs may be the best offense on the day with best matchup. Batters. Are you most reliable pitcher about? Crochet Crochet will have my heart and soul forever. He will never be a Rafi Devers type guy to me because the time he cashed his strikeout prop and couldn't find the zone. He could not find the zone. It was the most beautiful thing ever. They kept him out there long enough for him to get his strikeouts. I forgot which team it was, but he had like 5 walks. It was awful. It was the worst sweat of them all, and then he cashed. Maybe, where's this game? Oh, Austin. That's not a bad number. Austin, probably Atlanta. Jeffrey Springs is on the bump, 2nd worst rating, 5th worst rating current season. Oh, Tyler, that's hilarious. Tyler's medium frying pan. That's an iconic profile. That's awesome. Honestly, to those who bet, I didn't even look at this because I was so upset. I bet you Vlad home runs tonight, and I'm not going to be on it just because Savali sucks. Savali sucks. So honestly, the Blue Jays are on fire. Be between the Cubs, Jays, in Atlanta. I would say one of those games would have the most hits. Why is there a prop you're looking at? Also, hello, guys down below. What's up? The W will be live in 3 minutes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be here. We'll be here. But while Austin looks that up, let me run through the card one last time for anyone that is joining right now for the W. And they're like, oh, maybe I'll get some baseball. We're taking a Ramon Laurano. Bases at plus 160. Home run 7-1. Insane prices. We're taking the big poop to take a poop out in the Bronx. Fantastic prices. Yes, the home run is boosted. No way in hell they're giving us near 3-1 price on the home run in the Bronx when Cal Raleigh loves playing on the road. Also, guys below, you missed me singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Sorry that you missed that. Michael Busch, plus 125 on the bases, 390 home run. Nathan Eovaldi to take us to bed tonight. And don't forget, this is just for the loyal listeners, viewers, beautiful souls in chat. This is our parlay. This is where we're going tonight, kids. We're going to Strikeout City, USA, which happens to be in LA, which happens to be against a team that strikes out all the time at home. Let's run through those numbers again since Austin's in chat. Angels, dead last in K percentage at home. 2nd worst against right-handed pitchers. 3rd worst last 14 days. 4th worst last 7 days. Dead last this entire season. They're the worst strikeout team in baseball. Swing happy galore. Current season, where Eovaldi is elite. Mike Trout has an average rating. I'm not worried about anybody in that lineup. Eovaldi has one of the best arsenals in the Rangers. Graham! Hey, girl. Has one of the best arsenals and pitch mix on the Rangers staff, and I love him tonight. Absolutely love him. 85.5. Perfect. Go out. If you liked it, go out and bet that because the rest of their season is going to be on the road. 17.5 total hits. For which game was that, Austin? Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Graham. Happy Tuesday, Graham. All right, chat. We got 30 seconds before the W. Let's just do a little housekeeping. QR code up top. Go use that and get your sign-up bonus at B News. Use that promo code B News. Austin, take that. Honestly, take that because they are in Sacramento. If you're looking for W stuff, go nowhere. Stay right there in your seat. Put us on the TV, if you will. You know what you do? You put us on the TV, and then you go to your camera, hit that QR code up top, and you get a sign-up bonus with BetOnline. And then you go and bet the stuff we give out. Here we grinded our tails off for. I'm Colby Marcio. Go follow me on Twitter/X at COLBYMBETS. That's Colby M. Betts. Sook and SBJ are down below. They're about to play a really catchy theme song of right about meow. Have a Tuesday, everybody.
see I'm getting close, I accelerate, going faster than fast, hit the gas, lose control, I won't crash, running high, put your money on the dash, throw the dice, lose control, I won't crash, running low, I won't crash, bring you slow, I won't crash, running, take, you running on the road, so get out the way, push the pedal to the floor, go all the way, yeah, you see I'm getting close, I accelerate, going faster than fast, hit the gas.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the W. Excited to have you guys with us for another hour of content right here on the Betting News Network. That is just Sook. My name is Daniel Collins, a.k.a. Sweatpant Jesus. Stoked to have you guys to get into the nitty-gritty of the singular game we have on the WNBA tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the last hour with Mr. Colby Marcio talking all about what he's seeing on the diamond today. Sook, have you decided that you're going to dive into the diamond anytime soon, or are you just going to reject it all summer long?
Oh, no. I'm going to reject it all summer long because I have the W. And as well as that, I have Big Three basketball. They've been only giving sides on select books, but as soon as they figure this shit out, the player props are usually out by midway through the season. So Big Three takes place every weekend, every week for the next few weeks here up into through summertime. So there's things to keep me fed, chat fed, and I don't think I need to mess around with the diamond. I think Vsauce is good as the only brown boy over there.
Vsauce has also been hating betting the diamond the last couple of, maybe the last week or so. Our parlay yesterday actually smacked two legs of it, which was the WNBA stuff, and the two baseball plays absolutely sold the bag. So that's how it goes sometimes. But we're excited to have you here. Hope you enjoyed the last hour with Colby. Thanks for sticking around right here on the Betting News Network. If you're watching us on YouTube, on Twitch, or on X, wherever you're consuming this content, we appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. It's going to be fun to talk about this one game. We do not have our third horseman today. NZ is dealing with other corp stuff with his other job, so GG's to NZ. But we will we'll have him back hopefully next week. We have a special guest. I thought we were going to have her joining us today, but we have a special guest probably joining us next week, right before we go in the in WNBA All-Star break. So that will be fun to have her in the house next week. And we're going to do a couple of things to get the vibes moving to start off the show today. Thanks, Sean Beasy. A couple things to start off the show today. We're going to talk about the All-Star lineups because tonight is actually the is this the right thing? No. Well, it's okay. I'll just bring this up. So this is the two captains of the All-Star team. Tonight they are going to be actually selecting their lineups. So Nafisha Collier and Caitlin Clark are the captains of the team, and they will be selecting their lineups tonight on ESPN at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. Directly following that will be the game of the night between the Aces and the Liberty. So you got about 3 hours of WNBA watching tonight if you don't want to watch some baseball. So that's going to be fun to get involved with that over there. And as I said, they'll be drafting it. They've done this previously in the NBA as well as the WNBA. So it'll be fun to see these ladies select the teams. And let's have a look at what the teams selections they can choose from. These are the starters. So these are the players that they'll be choosing from. They'll be choosing obviously 4 and 4, and then they'll be selecting from the reserves. Sook, I know you don't have too many thoughts on this. So chat, we'll leave it up on the screen for you guys to have a look at that. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston made the team, is a starter this season for the WNBA All-Star team. Paige Beckers, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Neka. I always say Agumike, but I think it's Agumuke. I always thought I always pronounced that incorrectly. Satu Sabali, Asia Wilson, not really super surprised by any of these starters. I think you could have maybe made the argument that, Skylar Diggins or Gabby Williams could have been a starter with how good the Storm have been this year, but they made the reserve, so that's okay. You got Gabby Williams and Skylar Diggins in there. Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen, the dynamic duo rookies in Washington, made the team. Ryan Howard from that Atlanta team. Kelsey Mitchell from the Fever. Kelsey Plum, the other Kelsey from the Sparks. Angel Reese, who we'll talk about in a second. Alicia Thomas, who just had it for her first triple-double with the Mercury. Shout out Alyssa Thomas. Kayla Thornton for the Valkyries has been fantastic. Courtney Williams, who has also been fantastic for that Lynx team. Gabby Williams, as I mentioned, and Jackie Young for the Aces, who we're going to watch tonight. Now, Sook, my biggest gripe with this, there was a couple names that got left off these lists. And Colby said this about baseball. I'm not really a big snub guy either, because again, there's only certain spots like you can't really get too bent out of shape about it. But there were two things that I think worth mentioning about these lineups. The first one is the number one overall team, the best team in basketball, is the Minnesota Lynx. By far, they are the best team record-wise, most statistical categories. They are the best team in the WNBA. They only have 2 players on the All-Star team, one of which is a starter, being Nafisha Collier, probably going to win the MVP if she keeps playing the way she's been playing, and Courtney Williams, who's a reserve, as you can see on the screen right here. I mean, their coach even said this in a press conference, that they only had 2 players. And there were lots of other teams who had a much lesser record who had 3 players or more. The Fever, the Aces. Those are the top 2, I think, on the top of my head that I can think of. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention, that I think that was a little bit, I think maybe Alana Smith deserved a nod. There's a couple, I don't know if Kayla McBride deserved with how she's been playing, but I think they could have found another spot for maybe Alana Smith with how good she's been for this team this season as well, as a reserve possibly. The other thing I wanted to mention is I think it's amazing that Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen and Irifin, who are they? I've heard both ways of that one, so I'm going to stick with Iriafen because that's how I've said it from the beginning. And if she ends up saying Irifin in an interview or something, then I'll change it. But I like we love those rookies. They're great. They've been fantastic. But Brittany Sykes has been awesome for this team. And the fact that she wasn't even a reserve is a little bit of a slap in the face. The last one is Dearica Hanby, has been great for the Sparks. The Sparks aren't very good, so that's probably why Kelsey Plum is the only representative from that Sparks team. I know you're not big into this. I don't know if you have too much to say about it. I don't know if you have any thoughts, but those are kind of a couple of points that I thought worth making as we jump into the last week before we go into the All-Star game. You got any thoughts?
Yeah, I had a weird thought, and I'm sure you or chat might disagree with me, but my one biggest gripe with this was you're seeing Aaliyah Boston as a starter right there, so I'm glad you switched it right at the perfect time. Angel Reese is a generational superstar. I know I've always been the one kind of defending her, but recently, and we're going to talk about this soon, so it's a great little segue, she's been fantastic. She's the best rebounder in the whole association, and she's honestly learning how to pass the basketball. She's learning how to make more decisions. Obviously, we're still seeing her on the timeline making weird choices like slapping the clipboard away, but that's all good. It's in the heat of the moment, things happen. I just think it's weird, and I think the WNBA is kind of a small enough league that, like, let's cheat a little bit here. Let's put our superstars, our people that get all the eyes on the league, let's get them in as starters, especially when they're leading the league in rebounding and they're always on the timeline. Let's just go ahead and slide them in, find a way to fudge the numbers. Just go ahead and do it, WNBA.
I don't disagree with you. And as you just mentioned, let's just go ahead and talk about it, because I've been a person that I don't like Angel Reese just as a person. I don't like her character. So I always, unfortunately, have that a little bit colored in the fact of how I view her as a basketball player. But chat, it's just gotten to the point where we just got to accept that she is a good basketball player. She is developing. She's getting better in front of our eyes, as you mentioned, as a facilitator. She is the best player on this team by far. She is the reason why that they've been decent over the last 2 weeks. Do I think that she is a generational talent in the fact of, like, she's going to be turned into this incredible shooter? Probably not. Do I think that she's going to turn into maybe an Asia Wilson type player in the league? I don't know. Maybe not. But just what we've seen over the last 2 weeks, just going to read off the stats for you guys. This is her last 5 games. 22 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. That was today in their loss to the Mystics. 16 points, 17 boards, 6 assists. That was in their previous game. 24, 16, and 7, 17, 18, and 2, and 18, 17, and 6. I mean, you just can't argue with numbers. You can feel how you want to about her play. You can feel how you want to about how she looks on the court. But if you watch these games, she is a wrecking ball going to the bucket. Usually she has increased her touch around the rim, so she's able to convert a little bit more of these opportunities in that aggressive move that she makes to the bucket. And she's turned into, as you mentioned, which shout out to you for pointing this out, on the fact of her playing in the unrivaled league has probably helped her facilitating aspect, because now she's turned into like a stretch 4 or stretch 5.
1.9 assists SPJ to 3.9 year over year. It's a very scarce stat. So increasing your numbers by 2 is insane.
And if you watch these games, which I know maybe some of you just want to bet and have some fun, and then you don't end up watching these games because some of them can be a little bit of a hard watch. But I usually end up watching at least a game a night, the game of the night, or if I have some bets in it that I'm sweating out, I end up watching the game. And I've watched a few Sky games, especially hers recently. I mean, some of these passes are dimes, man. Like, they are just good passes, the right play in the right moment. And I mean, she probably could have more assists, to be very honest, if the fact that these other ladies were making shots, which we talk about a lot in the WNBA. I think that she is going to be she already is a very good player. She is developing. I never really understood the comparisons in like she set up all the other stuff. We've talked about it ad nauseum on what people think about her and all that type of stuff. And I do think that she's done a better job. And I don't know if this is her PR team or they've just been helping her out over the last couple of months and change the narrative a little bit on the fact that it's turned into talking more about her play versus her off the court antics and like the stuff that she does that is kind of frustrating to me. She hasn't really had any of that happen, and she's just been hooping, which in my opinion, that's what makes me like you even more. Just go hoop and like go play and go be good.
Weirdly, I think it was just a natural progression. People were always looking for ways to include her for SEO reasons, and it always was negative. Oh, she ran down the court, missed an open layup. Happens to everybody. And she said something stupid on their podcast. Every professional athlete that has a podcast says something stupid. But now what jumps out off the page more than anything is the numbers. And numbers speak for themselves, and it's been fun to watch.
Numbers don't lie, man. Women lie, men lie, people lie, presidents lie, the world lies. Numbers do not lie. And, we are in a particular point right now where you got to pay attention to the truth and the facts and find them as much as possible. And you can have your opinions about somebody personally, or you can have your opinions about a player based on your own watching of the player.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, dude, you just can't ignore it at this point. Like, she is a rebounding machine. She has also turned it. Obviously, the me bounce thing has become a joke, but she's not even doing a lot of offensive rebounding anymore. It's all purely she is cleaning the glass defensively. And today, I was a little worried about her rebounding numbers today because the Mystics have two very big, dominant ladies down low in Iriafen and Shakira Austin that are, quality rebounders and good centers for power forwards. 15 boards. And she had like 10 at halftime. It was no problem because she was dominating them down low in that regard.
And I get the sentiment, and I love you, your boy, but like the development is definitely happening, and you always see it. Like, we're talking about numbers don't lie. Last year, she only averaged 2.2 turnovers per game, but this year she's having 3.6. That's literally because her game has changed. Sometimes we're always looking at the numbers of 1.9 assists to 3.9. But when you look at the turnovers, you see that it's a concerted effort, a layer that she's added to her game. You're also seeing field goals. She's taking 1.4 less field goals per game this season than she was to last year. That means she's getting more intelligent when coming off the glass and finding teammates. And also, if your boy Skit, if you disagree with me, that also might just be her teammates, kind of like Caitlin, are learning. Hey, if Reese is getting all these boards, we got to cut, and she'll find us. So I can see both arguments.
This is also probably she's getting a really big benefit right now in her career, but also just taking advantage of an opportunity on the fact that they lost Courtney Vandersloot for the rest of the season with that ACL injury, right? And she was running the offense for this team, and she was averaging maybe 4 to 5 assists a game. So with losing your main primary veteran ball handler and facilitator that can set up your offense, they had to make a decision. Ariel Atkins is not a point guard. She is a score first shooting guard that can definitely like get your offense set up and rolling, but she's not a point guard. Haley Van Lith is also not good enough right now to run an offense in the WNBA if you're trying to win basketball games. So they didn't have a good option. So I think it turned into, let's see how this goes by giving the ball to our best player and letting her just go make plays, and we see how that goes. And it's worked out. Her assist numbers are up, but I think those assist numbers, yes, she's developed, and yes, she's gotten better, and yes, this is a part of her game, but it's also she's been given now an opportunity in an offense that needed somebody to do that. Whereas before it was more of, we have somebody who can facilitate, we just need you to rebound and assist, or excuse me, rebound and score. So I think that it's kind of, there's a lot of factors to it, but at the end of the day, the best part of this is that we're seeing her play really good basketball. Is it leading to wins for the Sky? Not really, but that's okay. The Sky team is not very good, but she's good. And like, that is great. And again, I have to eat my crow a little bit. I didn't really think that she was very good originally just by watching her, and she has gotten better. She has always been a good rebounder. Her touch around the rim was really bad even when she was at LSU. You can argue with a wall if you want to, but she was not a good finisher. She has increased that part of her game. She has increased her mid-range. She has increased her free throw shooting. And as you said, she's increased her facilitating. So I really think that she deserves all the credit she's getting right now. I hope it continues. I hope that she keeps just hooping and just keep developing and keep playing and keep getting better. Because if she keeps playing like this, Sook, and if she keeps developing, she's going to be a top 3 power forward or / center in the entire WNBA, maybe even top 2 with her in Asia if she keeps going down this road. So I agree with you that maybe she should have been a starter, but she also has to deal with the fact that a lot of these big time performances have come in the last like 2 weeks. And I think this all-star voting had already kind of finished off, So like, one of those deals. But she's going to play. I'll be very interested to see if Clark drafts her. That'll be interesting.
Ooh.
Last
point on her. I love efficiency, and also she has not increased her field goal to a point that we would want. It's only 1 percentage point better than last year, but from the line, dude, she's shooting about 80% right now. And if we're talking about touch, that free throw stroke kind of tells us that might be something that comes more in time, because we have to remember she's still only 23.
She's got a lot of room to develop. The point in the chat of her getting hacked every play, that's true. But to be honest, a lot of these ladies are getting hacked. The refereeing in the WNBA is really bad, man. It's worse, way worse than the NBA. And that's saying something, because the NBA officiating is pretty shitty, and it's
a rougher game, I would say.
Yeah, and they don't have no consistency. Like, they'll call something for 3 quarters or they won't call anything for 3 quarters, and then randomly in the 4th quarter they'll just start calling fouls that were fouls in the 1st quarter. And it's like, just call that in the beginning. And like, then you don't have these players, because a lot of them are getting pissed off. And I think that was part of the reason why Reese was pissed off today, slapping the clipboard, was a frustration situation, which she has that in her. But she even said it after their last game of like, the officiating's been terrible. I don't even care if I get fined. And I mean, you can say what you want about Clark, but she was getting mauled before she got hurt. I've seen, a lot, like that whole Kelsey Plum, Lexi Hull thing was weird. Like, there's just a lot of really weird plays in the WNBA. It's like, that's a foul. Just call the foul. Like, what are we doing? So
chippy. These women are chippy.
They don't fuck around. And,
Not at all.
You got to still call the game. Like, you got to officiate it. So I don't know. It just as somebody, again, I've been a casual of the WNBA last year. I like betting it, and I got into it more and more as the season went on. But I've gotten pretty heavily into it this season. I know most of the teams and most of the players, and I follow it and, bet it, obviously. And it's bad. They need to work on the officiating crews and figure out if it's one of those situations where you start getting some NBA officials that were not good enough or even if you start training them to be as good as NBA officials. If you're trying to grow this league to the point of it being a comparable league to the dub, like, you got to have everything that matches up with it, and the officiating is just not good enough. So hopefully that's something they fix. Regardless of the show at this point, regardless of the point or the league, and regardless of the sports, so we can just bitch about officiating for the rest of our lives, I think. But let's add it to the WNBA list as well. Anyway,
can I ask you one more quick question before we dive into WNBA?
Yeah.
Do you know what today is the 15th anniversary of?
Yes, I do. The decision.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, because I don't think we've ever talked about this. Do you remember your initial reactions to the decision in 2008?
I do, because I just graduated. No, it was 2010.
2010. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
2010. I just graduated high school. I was in London when it happened. And I'll never forget sitting there watching it on the TV and being like, holy shit, LeBron's going to the Heat. And as you know, I am a huge LeBron fan, and I've been a LeBron fan since he got drafted. So I've followed LeBron wherever he has gone, as just a fan of him as a person and a fan of him as a player. So I became a Heat fan at that point. I also really liked Dwayne Wade at that time in his career. I thought he was really just a great player. So it was
already
easy for
a
me
champion.
To be like, it was already like, sweet. I like this guy. I didn't have feelings about Bosch, but whatever, that was fine. And then they ended up, and I'll also never forget when they won the championship. I was watching that game too with my buddy Andrew Derminio. Shout out Andrew Derminio in New York. We had just done a show in Nashville, and we went to, I think it was a Ruby Tuesdays or something after our show, and we watched Game 7 at Ruby Tuesdays in Nashville. So nice. Yeah, I remember. What about you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. I remember I sat down to watch the whole special. I was very, very excited. And back then, I don't think I knew as much about the intricacies of the association. So I was more absolutely blown away about the decision. I was excited, weirdly, even though I was a Boston Celtics fan, and they became a thorn in our side for years and years. I was also a big Chris Bosh guy. I had a Chris Bosh red Raptors jersey. I liked his game. I always thought that he was one of the greatest players that we kind of forget. Like, him and Kevin Love made incredible sacrifices to their individual stats and their places in basketball history to win championships. basically dudes that were feature options that became third option role player types, but they were still playing so out of place that those teams were so special. So yeah, I remember the decision, but I remember being excited for it. I didn't get the hate at the time.
Well, it's because they all. Well, okay. This has been a situation, and I mean, people in our chat don't like Caitlin Clark. There are certain opinions of her. People in our chat sometimes don't like SGA. People in our chat don't like, these other superstar players, LeBron being the top of the list most of the time. Greatness comes with polarization. It's just how it is. There are some people that are just going to get to the point where they're going to nitpick every single thing that you do. You could do something incredible for charity, and they're going to be like, you're just trying to look good. You could do something shitty in the media, and they're going to be like, see, you're a piece of shit. It all is just going to be circled around how you feel about the player as a whole at that particular point. I didn't have any problem with it. LeBron has been a he's been a parlor trick since he got drafted because he was the next chosen one. And to be fair to him, he lived up to every single expectation and then some. But that's just part of he's a showman in that regard. But the thing that I've always respected about LeBron is the fact that he has off the court never had a sniff of any type of problem in his personal life. He's been a
what we
family
need in
man.
our lives?
I'm sure he's made some fucking mistakes, bro, as we all have. But yeah. Oh, did we just lose Suck?
Did we just lose SPJ, or is that me?
That's you. You're frozen. Chat, can you guys see me? He looks like he's frozen in time.
Am I back? You got me?
You're back now. You're back now. Yeah. The answer. Oh, I was going to ask you, Gerald, what the question was, but stuck in the Matrix. The answer is Bill Simmons, who pitched the idea for the decision opportunity and then hated it retroactively. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have been pitched in certain areas that you end up thinking is a good idea, and it happens, and you're like, damn, that was not how I wanted that to go.
LeBron's got a few of those. He's also got his MVP award. He stood on the stage with a plastic bag from Best Buy, and gave cameras to all his teammates. It was a very, very awkward moment. But somehow LeBron's PR team is absolutely elite. Just like the Jordan Crawford posterized video at Nike camp, they bury everything that's just negative about this dude. Think about it. The decision was on ESPN, and it was one of the biggest things that ever happened. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. And how much did we really hear about it? The anniversary came and went. Did we see any tribute videos? Did we see anything
Not
big
really
on the timeline at all? No, because he himself knows it's a little cringe and that could go away. It's not the same as Kevin Durant winning the MVP and being like, you the real MVP to his mom. It's not one of those moments, and I think he knows it.
Well, that did usher in the next generation of NBA. I would say what we're seeing now in the current NBA, but also what we've seen over the last 15 to 20 years of NBA, or I guess when was 2010? 15 years ago. 15 years, dude. Oh my God. I graduated high school in 2010. 15 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Chat, we're old. Found out earlier today that we're not. What are we? Millennials? Elder millennials?
Elder millennials. But there's even older millennials than us. I think it goes up to 38 or something.
Yeah. Chat, we talked about this on Talk Your Talk earlier today, but do you call a vacation a micro retirement, or do you call it a vacation? That's the question we need to know from everybody in the chat. All right. Well, we talked some NBA on the WNBA show. I think that's good. We can cap that conversation. We'll have Sauce Team on Friday. Lots of NBA news to discuss by Friday, which should be fun to get V back in the house to discuss a lot of things going on as well. Yeah, I call it a bender. There you go, Joe. That's a way to do it too. Let's talk about this singular game we have tonight. We do have we had a game earlier, which Angel Reese, as I just mentioned, in the Sky ended up losing to the Mystic. I got really close to hitting a couple parlays. Really needed that game to go to overtime. Was sad that it did not. But we've got one game. I know, B. Dot. I know. It's okay. Yeah, you can call it a sabbatical. I always thought it was weird when pastors went on sabbaticals. I was like, bro, just say you're going to the beach. Get out of here. Bye. But one game tonight should be a good one, as I mentioned. We've got the Aces traveling to New York, the Big Apple, to take on the New York Liberty. Asia Wilson and company are 4.5-point dogs towards the Liberty as 4.5-point favorites. Over under set at 165.5. Now, these teams have faced each other a lot, playoffs, etc. Both of them have championship pedigree, as we all know. So interesting to kind of see, and both of these teams, Liberty first have been floundering over the last 4 or 5 games. Sabrina Ionescu obviously still recovering from that neck injury. It seems like she's good to go. Jonquel Jones still out, not back until after the All-Star break, which got confirmed. Asia Wilson has been spectacular for the Aces, but they've very much so been underperforming the entire season. So two teams that have played are always going to be in the championship conversation. Obviously, the Liberty winning last year and still 12-5, so they're fine. But Aces 9-9. Both of these teams I think they need a little bit of momentum, either before the All-Star break or post All-Star break. They need to really turn the Jets on to go into the playoffs with some oomph. Otherwise, they might get bounced round one by one of these younger teams with a little more sass. So I think that this game's going to be there's going to be a lot on the line. That's not just a singular game, in my opinion. I feel like both of these teams are going to really want to come out and make a statement for themselves, really, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to remind themselves, hey, we're good. We're playing good basketball. Let's go out there and just hoop and kind of put aside some of the negativity and some of the bad play that they've had at certain stretches for both of these teams throughout the season. Did you have any thoughts from that perspective, like as the game as an overall, before we kind of jump into some props and some sides and stuff that we like?
Yeah, kind of. It's a good lead in because the game and overall, I want your thoughts on this because we are seeing a lot of props here. New York, obviously, like you said, always in the championship race, 12-6. They have Sabrina, but they're soft on the boards. And we're seeing a lot of plus money props for the Aces on that side. Someone's definitely hitting that plus money. It might just be chalky and be Asia. So my overall general thoughts in this game is that the Aces definitely have a chance here. Anytime you have Aja Wilson, you definitely do have a chance. But now, like you said, with Jonquel out, they're going to have more of an opportunity to get on that glass and kind of dominate. So there's a lot of ways to attack this game. When I was checking it out beforehand, I actually got really excited for the first time ever this season, labbing a WNBA game, because I always talk about this with you on the Sauce team. But like, whenever you see a discrepancy like that, like it's a good team, but they're bad at rebounding. It's like how the Wolves always had the Thunder's number because they're just so good at offensive rebounding, which the Thunder kind of struggled on the defensive glass. So I'm wondering if we're going to kind of see a similar situation where the Aces use cleaning the glass to keep in the game. But that's why I'm so interested in seeing all those plus money rebounding props.
Very interesting for sure. So both of these teams really struggle on the glass, and it's for a couple different reasons. The Liberty are not good on the glass, but that's because Jonquel Jones has been out. I think they were still a little not as great when Jonquel Jones was in, but she was such a dominant force down low that she was just grabbing everything. So they've really missed her, especially on the glass. I mean, Stewie's a good rebounder, but like she has such an onus to score and facilitate and stuff that like they don't really need to rely. She can obviously fall into 12 rebounds just because she's – what is she sucking?
Getting lost.
Oh, are you dying again? Yeah, he's frozen again, chat. Look at that. Bye. All right, I'll talk to myself for a little bit. Oh, he's back. You're back.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
It's okay. Maybe it's one of those Wi-Fi things you were talking about. All right, I'll set it up to you again. You know why Breonna Stewart ends up falling into a bunch of rebounds every once in a while? What does she suck?
Tall.
She's tall. She's tall. That helps. So that does help. But they also struggle on the glass. They're bottom 5 in the WNBA in rebounds allowed. And as you mentioned, the Aces also really bad rebounding the basketball. They are bottom 2 or 3 in most statistical categories, allowing to all positions in the rebound department. Now, that could change moving forward. Melissa Smith was brought into this team to be a rebounding force on this team. She's going to start tonight. Bro, I'm not seeing any lines for her right now, which is frustrating because she's a starter for this team. She just came off a double-double last game. So I don't know why they're not letting us bet a starting player for a WNBA team in the singular WNBA game of the night. That's weird to me. Sort it out, WNBA, please. We want to degenerately bet on these things. Please put it out for us. But Melissa Smith is brought into this team to help with that particular thing, to take the onus off of Asia Wilson. So we're going to see if that ends up turning the tide for both of these teams. Jonquel Jones returning for the Liberty and Melissa Smith being a part of this Aces team to kind of help lift those rebound numbers just to be average, because they've both been bad, as you said, in that category. But you teed me up nicely. I'm not overthinking it, dude. My first play is Asia Wilson. I'm taking her points and rebounds at 32.5. She's just a big game gamer. You know, she's had some up and downs in this season on scoring and rebounding particularly. There's been games where she has not scored as much as she should and then rebounded a lot. There's been games where she has not done either really well, and there's been games where she's like had like 12 rebounds and like scored 10 points. In big games, though, against teams where they really need it, Asia's going to cook. and she has cooked this Liberty team previously. They played earlier this season on the 17th of May, and again, that was pretty early on in the season at this point. 31-16 she had in that game. And that was in a losing effort to the Liberty in New York. So I think that we're going to see a similar situation today. She's going to show up, she's going to rock up, and she's going to start early and get after it and put pressure on that down low defense, maybe get Stewie in foul trouble or something, try to get her uncomfortable. And I think Asia's going to do that. So the inconsistent play from the guards by the Aces of Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and Jewel Lloyd is just something that this team is just going to have to continue to navigate. And the reason that they can navigate it so well right now and kind of stay afloat is because they have one of the best players in the WNBA that can go get you a bucket. So I'm not overthinking this. Give me her PR. You can take her points if you would rather over 22.5. But as I mentioned, she had 16 rebounds against this team. And as you teed it up nicely, this Liberty team does struggle on the glass right now. So I really like the PR at 32.5. And I think it's very laterable. 31 was the last time she scored 25 plus is a nice plus money number. Her rebounding line straight is 10.5. I think it's 9.5 or 10.5. She had 16 against them last time, and she has had games, especially in the last 4 or 5 games, of 18, 14, 13. So she has had some good boarding games against some teams that situations where she needed to step up and be the lady. So yeah, nice and chalky. Give me Asia. I think she's going to have a big game tonight. Definitely looking at some laddering opportunities for her too. So that's my first play. That kind of answers some of your rebounding questions. Did you have a specific, before I talk about my other play, did you have a specific rebounding prop that kind of was speaking to you that you were kind of looking at?
Not a rebounding prop. I'm going the other way because I thought how Wilson has such a chance to play well. Chelsea Gray has exceeded 9.5 rebounds and assists in 6 straight games versus bottom 5 defenses for rebounds allowed. Whether she gets it rebounding or facilitating, I like that 9.5 RA. And then Jackie Young, weirdly, dude, I like that 8.5 RA as well. Why not have both? If she's going to be passing and playing, she's actually exceeded the 8.5 RA in 7 of her 8 last games with an 8.8 average. I don't know. The Aces, to me, they've just been mediocre. And like you said, I am on that same side where they know they have a superstar. They know they have a winning pedigree. They're definitely trying to course correct the second half of the season. They don't want to go down like this as a 500 team and a very small WNBA. So I'm excited to see the Aces in the second half of the season. Maybe I'm a little bit jaded. Maybe I'm a little, not jaded's not the word. Maybe I'm seeing things in Aces colored glasses.
That's okay. I'm glad you took the green ones off. That's all I care about. So no, I like this play. Padge and I actually talked about it. Well, you probably heard Padge talk about it on Talk Your Talk earlier today. I hate betting these 3 guards. I just always am on the wrong side of one of them. It's just so frustrating to bet Jewel Lloyd and think she's going to have a good game and watch, Jackie Young go crazy. And then you bet Jackie Young and then Chelsea Gray's go crazy. It's so difficult because they all have potential to be great. And it's like, they just I can't get on the right side of it from a betting perspective. So I like it. I think that it's definitely a good play, the 9.5 RA. I was actually looking at Jackie Young on that same kind of note on pick and choose. I like her RA too. Yeah. She's been cooking. The one time I bet it straight, she shit the bed, and then the next game immediately went back to doing what she has been doing previously. She's got good success also against the Aces. So I lean a little more. I think of all the 3, Young is the one that I feel the most confident betting. Jewel Lloyd is way off my list. Like, I don't want to touch her. But
Young's hit it 3 of 4 head to head, so I'm with you.
Exactly, and again, she's hit it in 8 of her last 9 games. The one miss was the one I bet her straight for, of course. But it's a good spot. You can find the -110 value on that 8.5 RA line. As you said, 3 of her last 4 good rebounds, 2, 6, 6, 5, and 5 in her last 4 games against this Aces team. And again, this team against the Liberty. 12th in rebounds allowed are the Liberty, which is second worst in the WNBA. So I think it's a good point to mention the Gray and Young play. I think it's more of just you got to just go with your plums because they could both
whatever
hit,
one you like.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, Magic Man. You're Lee made me mad yesterday. Her playing time's so weird for that Wings team. I wish they would just let her play. Real quick rant on Lee and watching the Wings. You know what I think her problem is? And I hope that they work on fixing this, and maybe Paige will help her with this. Because did you know that she and Paige are like actually really close right now? They're pretty good buddies.
Yeah, I heard you talking about it. Yeah.
I wish she needs to be more aggressive. She's too passive. as a player. I think it's maybe from her Chinese culture, and I don't know if it's because I mean culturally, a
I
lot
don't.
of players like she just doesn't. She like died. She's so big. It reminds me of Rudy Gobert sometimes. It's like, dude, you're 7'7". Like, go grab a fucking rebound. It was the same with Lee yesterday. I was like, just get these bitches out of your way and go grab some rebounds, man. Like, you got to just go. And it's like, it was so frustrating to watch from like, because I can tell, because I'm a nice person too, and I can see she's just so kind. It seems like, and you got to get a little nitty gritty and like hit the glass and just go in there, shoot a shot, just hit some, hit.
It's weirdly you're not gonna like this, but like it's weirdly my like reservations with Yang Hansen of like you played in the CBA, you're just used to blowing by everybody, you're used to finishing over top everybody, you're just used to it. And at 6'7", Lee is ginormous even for WNBA standards, but the athletic ability and catching up to the speed of the game, I think that's where she's kind of missing a step, and hopefully she does regain it.
Well, they also are not using her correctly. Like she'll be on the court with another like power forward. I can't. Is it who's the other power forward? I can't remember who it is off the top of my head. But and like she's the one in the post, and Lee's on the perimeter. It's like, can we switch it, please? Like put the 6'7" girl down there. What are you doing? It was very strange to watch. But anyway, that was just a little rant since someone brought up that game last night. All right. Cloud, we have breaking news. Natasha Cloud has been ruled out of this game, which we had talked about it earlier. I kind of thought that was going to be the case. So a lot of these lines are probably about to go shifting around. Hopefully you got some of these bets in earlier today before the Natasha Cloud news dropped. And this play was something that I texted you. And chat, forgive me. I'm going to bring up the line that I got. You're all
That's like salt in the wound.
I have to for transparency purposes. I got this line earlier today. Sabrina Ionescu over 7.5 rebounds and assists. This line is an absolute joke. She could hit this in the first half. She could also have like 2, and then it's just we're not even having a conversation. But I'm believing that Sabrina Ionescu is going to have a big game today. She had first bounce back game last game, finally shooting the ball well. She's probably going to come out and want to make a statement again in this game too, kind of like what we talked about in the beginning. But I love her RA. Again, I got 7.5. The line is actually 10.5. So I like it at 10.5 or minus 115, minus 120, depending on where you shop. But I'm being transparent with you guys and saying to you that I got 7.5 for plus money because the books made a mistake when they laid this line out earlier today. I like the 10.5 though. I'm not going to go bet it again at 10.5. Like, why would I do that? But I do endorse the 10.5 RA line as well. She's had great games rebounding the basketball against this Aces team, like we just discussed how bad they are on the glass. With Natasha Cloud out now too, she's going to have more of a responsibility to facilitate. So I think that this is a slam dunk. I wish I just put a lot more on it than I did. I put a responsible singular unit on the 7.5, but that's okay. It's plus money. I'll take it. But I think Sabrina's going to have a good game today.
I can see that. Yep. I was thinking just even this is weird and I haven't played it, but like I did it a few times in the playoffs with Hallie. Just take the PR with her. For some reason, it's only 22.5 with Sabrina. She could get that with just points. And like she's had games with 8 rebounds, 9 rebounds. I don't know. I haven't played it. It was just something that I had circled.
Oh, no, I like it a lot. I think it's definitely a good spot because she and Breanna Stewart should score in this game. The Aces are not very good defensively. Nalissa Smith is helping with that with Asia down low. And like these guards they have potential to be good defenders, but as a unit, they're not a very good defensive team. And this Liberty team, when they get rolling, can score. So I like it. I think the points, Padge brought up the 3s earlier for Sabrina. It's 2.5 for a little bit for not super juiced value. I think that's a great play. Her ladder looks nice too. She's had great games against this Aces team previously. So I think it's definitely a great spot to take her points, PR, PRA, 3s, anything you want to take for Ionescu, definitely a good spot. She finally had that breakout game that we've talked about. I've been waiting for that after that neck injury, and it finally came last game. And maybe she just keeps the ball rolling and just, does the exact same thing again tonight in a big game. The only game tonight, too. That's probably important for these ladies as well. There's going to be a lot of people watching this game. Yep. It's prime time. I think it's on ESPN. I'm pretty sure. So if it's not on ESPN, then if they're doing the all-star selection team aspect of this on ESPN, but they're not doing the game on ESPN, then shame on you, WNBA. But I'm pretty sure it's on ESPN. So let's talk about Stewie a little bit. and finish this conversation on the Stewie train, and then we shall start cooking a parlay for this game. We'll do a little SGP for you guys, chat. If you would like to tail, I already have a couple. I have a little lotto I put together. I posted out on the timeline at Sweatpants Jesus. If you're not following me already, NZ wrote about this game at bettingnews.com. You guys can go peep his scribbles and his thoughts about this game and get involved with what he had to say. I did not have an opportunity to actually look at what he had to say about this game. Did you peep his scribbles on what he was looking at?
No, shame. I also did not peep the scribbles.
Well, they came out. We came out when we were prepping for the show, so I give ourselves a little bit of an excuse. But NZ did write about it at bettingnews.com. Go see what he had to say about this one. I don't know if he also knew about the Natasha Cloud news by the time he ended up writing about this game as well. So we'll see how that ends up changing some of the math here for this game. But last point on Stewie. So Brianna Stewart also had a good game against the Aces when they played on the 17th. She had 25 points in that game. She also had, how many rebounds did she end up grabbing? 8. She had 8 in their last game too. So she is in a good spot, in my opinion, for a PR, maybe points, rebounds. Her RA is also nice as well. I think that she has an opportunity to facilitate with what we're going to see as well, with kind of the way that they defend her, especially if Melissa Smith ends up guarding her, if they don't want Asia to have to deal with Stewart. I would assume that Stewart's going to guard her. That would be that Asia's going to guard Stewie. That would be my guess. But maybe they want to throw a big body at her and let Melissa Smith just deal with it and get some fouls and not have to have Asia get tired on the defensive end. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out. But I like Stewie in this matchup. I think she should score again. Her points was looking at me nicely. But I think the PR was my favorite line for her, which is actively right now at 28.5. I think she could hit that as well. So that was kind of my directions leaning with Stewie. Did you have any thoughts on Brianna Stewart in this game?
Yeah, looking at Stewie, I was looking at the RA. Didn't play it, but I just think that, again, this sounds stupid, but sometimes when you're facing bigger, stronger players, you're just more likely to pass. That's the same reason sometimes I play one assist in the NBA. I just think Brianna Stewart, yeah, she's used to having a lot of advantages when she's on a WNBA court, but like, it's a rarity when she faces Aja Wilson where she loses some of those advantages, and maybe she just passes a few more times. I don't know.
Oh, also, someone in the chat asked this question. It is pronounced Asia. Sook just likes to say Aja because he's like that, but it is pronounced Asia, like the country. So
Asia.
You can call her Aja if you want. I did have to look it up just to make sure because they always say Asia, and I was like, are we just saying it wrong? But yeah, it's Asia. It's like the Nyeka thing. Talked about earlier. Or Kiki. A lot of tough names in the WNBA. I'm not going to lie. A lot different than the NBA. So, I mean, Doncic looks hard on paper. That's pretty easy, though. It's not hard.
Unless he comes out in 2 years and tells us it's something completely else.
I can imagine if he comes out and says, it's actually Doncic.
I remember there was that hockey player, and his name was like, now I completely, it's like Parise. And then he like came out years later and it was like Perezi or something when he switched teams to the Minnesota Wild. I was like, my God, dude.
It's Donkey, like in Shrek. Exactly. And hey, B-Dot, this is great. This is good. This is awesome because it's cool to want to, hey man, knowledge is power. So that's how it rolls. It's also kind of a pet peeve for me when people mispronounce athletes' names, but unfortunately we end up doing it sometimes too, based upon just sometimes it's hard to look up phonetic pronunciations but I try to at least say what is given. But there's been a lot of athletes, like you said, Sook, that have actually either changed teams or they ended up talking to the press department like 2 years later. And it's like, actually, you guys have been pronouncing my name wrong this whole time. And they're like, how do you say it? But like, but then the fan base like knows the name already. So it's like, they can't go back and like change it at that point. So like everybody knows them as that particular pronunciation. And like,
as someone with a weird exotic name, I will say that eventually you get to a point in life where it gets weird just correcting everyone. So you kind of just accept whatever comfortable pronunciation there is. But I don't know.
Like this, see, that's how I pronounce it. But this lady on the broadcast I was watching the other day was saying Iriafin. And I was like, is it Iriafin? Is it Iriafin? Is it Iriafin? Is it Iriafin? What is it? I just want to, Kiki, call me. Let me know. We need to know how to pronounce your last name.
This is your way to trick her into calling you.
I don't need that. I have a life. I'm fine. I just want to. I mean, she's great. Also, please continue playing better, and maybe win the Rookie of the Year. I know you're not going to, but whatever.
Kiki's not even her name from what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
her real name is Okiki Oala, and I definitely butchered that as well.
Hey, shout out to you for knowing that. I think I can see why she goes by Kiki. Kiki does indeed love us. B-Dot. We're big fans of Kiki on the program. All right, man. Let's have some fun. Let's cook up a parlay here and send you guys off into the sun and enjoy the sunny, beautiful Tuesday night. Go and enjoy this game as well. Like I said, it is going to be on ESPN. Shout out to whoever was able to let us know in the chat.
It was our man.
No.
Oh damn.
Yeah, voice of reason. Yeah, it's not Aja. Yeah, there you go. It's Asia.
Asia.
Well, it is Asia.
Thank
Like
you,
the country.
voice of reason. I will listen to the voice of reason. Asia. I still
So
can't
not
say
me.
Tom Thibodeau. I know what
You're
his
gonna
name
miss-
is. I know what
You
her
just
name
said
is.
it. You just said it.
Yeah, Thibodeau. Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. You said it right the first time.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau. While we're on this topic, you guys said this all season long, and we never really corrected it, but it's Donovan Clingan. Not Clingan, by the way.
Klingon.
Clingan, yeah.
Klingon.
Clingan, yeah.
Kling Kong.
Let's call him Kling Kong. There you go. But we'll keep letting V do it the other way around, so we'll just keep rock and roll with that. But Tommy unemployed. What does that mean?
I do not know.
Do you know?
No, I don't say. I don't know a Tommy.
I don't either. Is that oh, is it the Kiki? Oh, that's his last name. Huh? I'm confused. Let's move on. Let's cook.
The only Tommy I know is Tommy from Rugrats.
I think that's his new last name. Who's new last name?
Oh,
That's all right. Let's keep it moving. All right. So, where do you want to start? I feel like we got to do something with Asia.
I was
Wow,
gonna
this
say we
line's-
could start with the PR, but it probably
It
moved,
dropped.
right?
It dropped the line. The whole game line just dropped to 3.5 now, which is interesting. It was 4. Well, it was 4.5. So I guess Natasha Cloud's worth a point at home.
Do you want to put the Aces plus 3.5?
No.
No.
I don't think I want to do a side, to be honest.
All right, let's go with the Asia
I don't
PR.
have a,
then.
well, let's see what NZ said. If he has a strong feeling about his side, he never texted us back on what his favorite play was. So, you want to gander real quick? I can do it. I just want to see what his thoughts were for the game as a whole, and then we shall put together what we like in this one. Let's see here.
Aces. He had the Aces plus 5.
Wow, I'm sure then he likes the plus 3.5. Oh, actually, no, wrong way. I still think we avoid a side.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So we
Start
just do
with
props.
Asia Aja.
Potato. Yeah, 32.5 is still the PR line. So I'm down for that. Are you good for the PR, or do you want to just take the points?
Ooh. No. If I was gonna take one or the other, I'd probably take the board. So I'm down with the PR.
Okay. 32.5, Asia Wilson PR.
Yep.
Let's do something with Sabrina. I have the RA, but I'm down. I liked what you were saying about the PR. You want to just take her PRA?
Yeah.
29,
If you like
29.5.
Do you like the over for the whole game? You think this will be back and forth affair?
I think it should be.
Let's
I don't think I want to take the total though, but I see what you're kind of going at.
Yeah.
Let's take actually, you know what? You like the PR. I'm down for I like the rebounds a lot. Let's take the PR.
22.5.
Or we could just take our boards. No,
I'm
it's
with
not.
that too. But it's juiced, I think, at like 5 or 6.
It is. I think it's 4.5 for pretty high plus money. Where is Sabrina's PR? Why am I not finding it?
And then do you want to go with Gray or Young or Stewie?
I think we should do something with Stewie. What? I don't know, but let's figure it out. Hang on, let me just find Sabrina's PR. Just having a struggle looking for this here. I mean, her rebounds at 3.5, 4.5 looks pretty tasty. But let's take the PR. I think I like your logic with the fact that she can score. 22.5, right?
Yep.
All right, and then same for Asia, 32.5. Ooh, it's up to 33.5 for plus 100. I can still get down with that.
I told
What do you
I
wanna
think
do with
the Aces stay in it.
I think so too. I think they should win. I mean, I'm not should win. I think that this will come down to the wire. So I don't disagree with you on that one. Should we take Stewie's RA
Yeah.
at 11 and a half? Especially with no Cloud, more assisting opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we get to choose between which guard is going to screw us on the Aces side. Do you like Jackie Young, RA, or would you?
I'll
rather roll with your
let
Chelsea
you
Gray?
decide because I like both, and both have good statistical backing. Stewie assists, even if you want to keep it simple.
Let's do the RA. I mean, she should grab 7 to 8 rebounds purely off the the tall thing. And in jest, chat, obviously. Chat, you guys decide. Let us know what you guys think. Chelsea Gray, RA, or Jackie Young, RA. I kind of lean Young, but I just don't like betting Chelsea Gray for some reason.
Her threes also has a good history.
Jackie Young or
Yeah.
Chelsea Gray? I do like her 2 threes. I can get
Chelsea
down with
Gray
that.
2 threes. She's made it 5 straight times against bottom 5 teams for 3-pointers allowed.
I was thinking Jackie Young 2 threes. We're on this opposite sides of this. You like Chelsea Gray. I like Jackie Young. I think we're both in both situations here. Proper Patch does like Chelsea, so we can go with Chelsea. I lean Young. So that gets my vote. B-Dot, we already have Stewie RA in here, so we're in that. And he likes Austin, so there you go, Austin. Austin would lean with Young. You like Chelsea. Padge likes Chelsea. I like Young. So we're split down the middle again. You know what? Ooh, make it a 5-legger.
Do Gray's threes and Young's RA. I can't tell if you're intrigued or disgusted.
No, I don't know what to do. This is my guts.
B-Dot said Young. That kind of breaks it a little bit.
I know, but I don't want you to not have Chelsea Gray in here, especially because that was kind of your play that you liked.
Hey, I'll play it solo.
Solo dolo.
Yeah, then we're not double dipping.
That's true. That is true. I mean, I have Asia PR straight, but like if Asia has a bad night, then I think everything's cooked. So.
Oh yeah.
So, there you go, B-Dot. What we'll do, we will have a little fun and we'll cook a little lotto just for the vibes. But I like that Gray's threes, Young RA. You want to do that? Split down the middle. You know what's going to end up happening, right? They're going to flip flop, but it's okay. Gray 2 threes. Gray just okay. So Young 8.5 RA, Gray 2 threes. That's plus 1,600 for me. Those 5 legs. Same for you?
I'm just typing it out.
All right. Let me read it off for the people. Sabrina Ionescu over 22.5 PR. Asia Wilson over 33.5 PR. Brianna Stewart over 11.5 AR. Chelsea Gray 2 3-pointers. Please, Chelsea. Please. And Jackie Young over 8.5 assists and rebounds. Please, Jackie. Please. Plus 1,600.
What could go wrong?
Sure. What could go wrong? We didn't even do a lotto. That is pretty much a lotto. All right, man. That feels good. You happy with it?
I am happy with it. We'll decide who we're going to be mad at later.
Nobody, because we're hitting. Nobody, because we're smacking. That's how I feel.
Which bet has always gotten the more action? Take the other one. Interesting.
Yeah, you can go with the spreads like that or that way. Again, like I said, these guards for the Aces are just so hard to figure out who's going to do what on a nightly basis. Like they just really don't have a determined specific role, so it's hard for me to identify like who I want to bet on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so frustrating. And I've done it 2 or 3 times, and it's always the other one, and I'm like, but hey, you got to break the cycle sometime.
Eventually.
Okay. Eventually, maybe tonight. The dub 5. The Fab 5. Should be fun in this singular game. Asia Wilson over 33.5 PR. Sabrina Ionescu over 22.5 PR. Yeah, I'm so doopy. Indeed. Brianna Stewart over 11.5 rebounds and assists. Chelsea Gray, 2+ 3-pointers, and Jackie Young over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Plus 1,600. Not bad. It's a good way to sweat out the game. And then straights from myself and producer Sook. Sook, what did you end up betting straight? Was it Jackie Young or Chelsea Gray?
Yeah, it's Chelsea Gray's RA.
Chelsea Gray RA from Sook. Myself, again, I got a great number. I like the 10.5 if you want to tail this. Sabrina Ionescu, and then Asia Wilson over 32.5 PR. Nice and chalky. And if you had to pick, who do you think wins this game? You said Aces, right? You kind of lean.
Yeah. I don't know about win, but I think they got a chance to cover. Maybe that it's gone down a little bit. Who knows? Because our boy NZ got it at 5. So it's what I said before. They're a good team. They know they're a good team. Like you said, they're got to get right for the second half of the season. It's a short season, already 18 games up, less than 45 in the season. I think 44 is the number. So it's time to play ball.
Well, I'm also a little bit biased in a certain aspect of things because it would be so cool if we cashed the Asia Wilson MVP ticket at plus 4,500. And she's got to ball out the rest of the season to get even close. So maybe we get another vintage Asia performance tonight. That would be awesome. I'll go Aces too. I'll lean that direction. I feel like that they cover, maybe win outright because I still don't trust this Liberty team, especially with no Cloud now. That's going to play a big factor defensively.
No Jonquel, like you're down starters here.
Two big defensive starters as well, and this team already kind of struggles defensively. So, yeah, I shall see. One more point before we sign off and send you guys off and to enjoy your Tuesday night. If you had to pick one team right now that you feel like could make a run to win a championship, who are you looking at? Who are you taking?
I honestly think that I think the Lynx win it all, if not the Liberty.
Do you think the Lynx are going to go all the way?
Yeah, I also think the Liberty are very good. Like Jonquel Jones piling up stocks when she plays. It's very much a game-changing presence when she's out there.
Yeah, when they get her back after the All-Star break, that's going to totally change the math for this team for sure. I'll go a little less chalky than what you just did, which I like both of those.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Seattle?
I mean, I have money on Seattle. I got bad value. I do think they can definitely flirt with getting over the line. But I do think that they're going to end up running into a team like the Lynx or something that's going to take them down in a series situation. DeWanna Bonner signed with the Mercury today. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago when she left the Fever, that it was looking like that she wanted to return to play with her boo thing in Alyssa Thomas. They have Alyssa Thomas playing like an MVP. They have Satu Sabli playing like an MVP. Kalia Copper hasn't played for this team for most of the season, and now she's back looking like she can drop a 25 or a 30 piece once again. I don't know, man. If Bonner comes in and starts playing like she was before for the Sun last year, before she came in and played like absolute shit for the Fever, if she starts looking like the player that she actually is on this team, look out, dude. And I'm glad I got the plus 1,300 when it existed for them to win the championship. Then I don't think it's probably going to be that. It's not that now for sure. So yeah, the Valkyries are an interesting sweat.
I was just going to say, chat's kind of showing how small this league is and how crazy it is because the field is kind of open. It does feel open. Even though the Lynx are 17-2, we saw them lay a goose egg in that Commissioner's Cup, which was very surprising. And Collier's back being up in the air. Who knows?
The Lynx, I don't think are going to win a championship this year.
Really?
Yeah. The reason they would win a championship would be if Nafisha Collier and Courtney Williams just carry them to the championship. And I mean, they're 17-2. They've been doing that. There's no reason to say they can't do that. So I'm not saying that that's not the case. It's like we talked about with the Thunder winning the NBA championship. It's like, can SGA and Jalen Williams just carry this team to a championship? And the answer was yes. But I think if you have, because Nafisha's had a couple games where she just isn't making her shots and they get dog walked. They literally, because she is so important to their offense that if she's not making her buckets, and with how bad Kayla McBride's been shooting the basketball, their offense really struggles. And like you run into a team like the Fever when they get hot, or even this, Aces team or Liberty even, like you run into one of these teams with a bunch of other shooters and stuff that can knock down some shots in a series situation, you get caught, So that would be my only concern with this Lynx team. They're great defensively. They probably have the MVP, but if Fee has a couple bad nights, this team's cooked. Courtney Williams has been awesome, but she's not a really dynamic scorer. Like, she can score and she's got a great midi, but like, she's not a, certified bucket getter. She's more of a all around just hooper that can make some shots. So that would be my concern for the Lynx. And that's why I like other teams that have a couple more scoring options that can get you a bucket if your superstar is not cooking. Which you would think if you're looking at someone we're talking about tonight, like the Aces, you bring in a Jewel Lloyd, you got Jackie Young, you got Chelsea Gray on this team who can also go get you a bucket, but they just haven't been doing it, which is why they're not been as good. So when Asia's having a bad night or not making a couple shots when you need it, like they got these other players to do that, but hasn't been working out. So yeah, we shall see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun back half of the season. We have games every day this week, too, as well. The scheduling committee got it right going into the All-Star break, which is fun. Thank God. And then we'll have the All-Star break. We'll be back on the W next Tuesday. Like I said, we should have a special guest with us. Hopefully we'll have – oh, actually, you know what? We won't have NZ next week. He's on vacation. So it'll be you and me and maybe our special guest if she is able to join us before going into the All-Star break next week. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. We will not be live tomorrow, so can I have the day off tomorrow. But – the lads from Up Your Units will be live tomorrow to talk about everything on the pitch, on the diamond, and so much more at 5 o'clock Eastern right here on the network. This is your chance. If you're not subscribed or if you love the channel and you love what we bring you guys here, betting news every single day, feel free to give us a follow at YouTube on YouTube. Just click that little subscribe button. That's all we need. Just a little, boom. Hey, B-Dot, thanks. We'll be back Thursday. Or follow or give us a sub on Twitch if you're feeling so frisky. It really helps us out on the channel. Content will always be free, but, it helps us keep the lights on, which is important. Yeah, go tail the parlay if you'd like to. Go get involved with us on Twitter as well, at JustSook, myself at Sweatpant Jesus. Go follow all of us at Your Betting News. And as always, go to bettingnews.com for free sports betting info every single day. And big thanks to our sponsors at BetOnline. I think I read everything I was supposed to read. Any thoughts from you, my man, before we get out of here?
No, W housekeeping, miss WNZBA, but we'll have them back in a couple of weeks here. Sometimes it's good for the heart to long for something, and in 2 weeks from now, I'll be longing for NZ a lot.
Yeah, chat. You see my face so much. You never long for me. So
hey, you were gone for that week in Portugal.
Yeah, Costa Rica, but yeah,
Costa Rica.
Yeah,
didn't you go to Portugal as well?
Last year, yeah, but I streamed the whole time I was there, so that didn't miss me too much. But hey, that's how it goes. All right, we appreciate you guys. Go enjoy the Tuesday night. The lads will be with you guys tomorrow, and have a fantastic evening tonight. We got some more NFL content coming very soon, so be on the lookout for that. And we'll have some more as football is right around the corner. So thanks for tuning into the Dub today. You guys came for the winners, and you stayed for the vibes. Have a fantastic Tuesday night, and we will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, chat. Peace.
What you know about rolling down in the down in the now I know we all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you gonna do? Rolling. What you gonna do now? Down in the rolling. What you gonna do? Right, y'all be loving this shit. What you know about